Yeah.
Well, it don't get no more funky than that. We are back. This is the show we've come to know as Paul Shaffer Plus One. Today, coming to you live from the Sunset Strip.
Oh,
right
yeah.
here in Hollywood. Sunset, we'd be bumping on Sunset, if I may. Bumping with one of the greats of Texas blues. We got him, and it's a privilege to, we're going to spend all the rest of our time today with this one man, and he's going to give us really a lesson in soulfulness and what it's all about to have the blues, and why Texas, and why the beard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Billy Gibbons. Billy, thanks so much. I'm so excited when you were booked. As you can see, I've stopped shaving. And I am now, This is a growth of, I don't know, a good 4 or 5 days.
I'd say let it fly. Let it fly.
Oh, you always have. You have let your freak flag fly.
Let your freak flag fly.
If I may. Yes, you always have. Did you open for Jimi Hendrix?
Certainly did. Back in 1960, end of 67, go 68.
Yes. How did this come about? Were you in Texas at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had the Moving Sidewalks, which was a band we had switched over from R&B, influenced by the 13th Floor Elevators.
Of course. This is a legendary Texas psychedelic group, right? Psychedelic rock.
Oh, yeah. They repopularized the term psychedelic, and it went straight into the brain and into the hands and out came this sound.
Was it blues-based?
Pretty much. When I tell people that the early elevators, again, they were such an inspiration. The elevators go up. I said, well, we'll call ourselves Moving Sidewalks. They go forward.
Laterally.
Yes. So up and forward.
Okay.
But the phone rang, and the agent at the time called us in, and we were rehearsing, actually, and their offices were down the hall, and they said, hey, we got an invitation. Have you guys heard of this guy? He's a guitar player, plays left-handed. His name is Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, gosh.
We fell out.
You knew, of course, who he was.
But it worked, yeah.
Fantastic.
Had a great time.
So before you ran into Jimi Hendrix, your style, where did it come from? Was it psychedelic? Were you blues-based?
I'm pretty sure that it would be fair to say that from the Sidewalk standpoint, all of us had come up with this Texas background, and so much of it was this combination of country and Western, but hardcore blues and R&B. There was no way around it. You got it.
And what is this? How close is this to the Texas blues that we know of? Albert King and such.
I don't know if there's any exponent of Texana, but there is a thread that weaves it all together. My good friend Jimmy Vaughn, he and I have talked about it for hours and days on end. And it may go back to the time when there was nothing else to do but sit on the porch and play a guitar. And with that much time on your hands, you got good.
When Jimmy plays, often it reminds me of the guitar in Treat Her Right by Roy Head.
Definitely.
His style just reeks of that. I don't think that was him. He's probably too young to have played on it. Do you know anything about the Roy Head and the Traits?
Yeah,
Who
Jimmy and I,
were?
the record, the recorded figure, Jimmy and I had this long powwow. When we go to the 5, he said, do you stand on the 5 and eliminate the 4, or do you have to go descend? I'm thinking it could go either direction.
It could, yes.
So, in fact, Jimmy has a recorded version. I put out a solo record with a recorded version.
Will you sing a little of it in your style? I heard the way you did it. First of all, you changed the feel of it, and you did.
And then that was it.
Yeah. Tell me about now your style. Where does it come from? Hendrix must have been influential when you finally did get to hang out with him and everything.
He taught me the intro to Foxy Lady, which, well, to back up a bit, it's fair to say that the list of blues giants influenced just about everybody you and I probably know. B.B. King, Jimmy Reed, Albert King, Freddie King, Albert Collins,
Yes.
John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. The list is endless. But that one little...
There it is. Well, it's nothing. I'm watching you do it.
Yeah.
Really, you're just kind of sliding the string over the fret, right?
Yeah, he played it in the key of, we think it was in F sharp,
You do a
but
little
he's
foxulating
doing
yourself.
it in E flat against...
Okay. And then against an F sharp?
Yeah.
Absolutely right. So that tour ended. You go back to Texas.
We did. Well, we went to California. Well, Sunset Strip. But down at the...
And you're talking about the late 60s now.
68.
Mm-hmm. And I love to hear about this time. You were bumping on Sunset with all the rest of them.
Oh.
Did you run into Arthur Lee and Love and that stuff, those guys, when you were here?
Yes. My favorite of Arthur Lee and Love during that time, and I might take a guess here. I think it might have been on their first album, but they did a Burt Bacharach tune.
Yeah, Little Red Book.
My Little Red Book. And of course, to hear Burt Bacharach tell the story, they completely, not only did they cannibalize it, but they tortured it in such a great way.
They sure did. I'm sure his accountant wasn't upset with the way they did it. So you were right in the middle of the psychedelic pop thing here in Los Angeles, California.
I would, yeah.
When did you return to the blues and the basics that brought, which you brought with you into the ZZ Top?
Well, yeah, 68. The Vietnam War was raging. Kill for peace. We're going to draw your number. The low numbers were the guys that went first.
Yeah.
And two of the sidewalks, Tommy Moore, the keyboardist, D.F. Summers, the bass player, they drew low numbers, and they had to bow out, which left me and the drummer of the sidewalks still wanting to go on forward. There was a guy from Jimmy Vaughn's band at the time, the Chessmen.
Okay.
Billy Etheridge was the rhythm guitar player. We hired Billy Etheridge. So after a short time, we had written some songs, and Billy, he announced his bowing out, so to speak. But it was about that time that he introduced me to Frank Beard. Frank showed up. Mr. Mitchell had gone on with another group, which left me and Frank Beard. That was really the start of ZZ Top. We didn't really have a name, but he had grown up with the other bearded...
Dusty
Hill, the other bearded boy.
Yes.
That amalgamation kind of collided.
You're back now in Houston, Texas?
We're back in Texas, in Houston, Texas. And I said, Dusty, he looks strange. He said, yeah, but he plays great. I said, well, okay. Well, so we had auditions, and there was, 2 or 3 guys had come through. Dusty was the last in line. He picked up that bass. We started playing a shuffle in C. 3 hours later, we finally pulled it to the curb, and I said, I think this is going to work.
I love it.
Yeah, a 3-hour shuffle in C.
Just for those people who might not, let me hear a little bit.
Yeah. And then what followed that, we'll keep on with that. We drew out from the famous party song, get high, everybody get high. Get high, everybody get high. I get high, everybody get high. I get high, everybody get high. Have you heard what's the word? It's Thunderbird.